What's good, guys? Today I am reviewing the Viltrox 75mm f1.2 autofocus DX Z mount lens. And let me tell you, I'm going to show you why this is the best Viltrox lens to date. I'm talking amazing image quality. In this review, I'm going to show you real world images where I took last week at a wedding with the Z9 and this Viltrox 75mm still images that just blew me away. I'm going to show you what they look like. And also, I had some fun at the reception. I did some 120 frames per second video with this. I just wanted to show you guys how amazing this lens, even shooting video handheld using the IBIS on the Z9 and the background blur, just how awesome it is. So yes, guys, the 75mm Pro f1.2 autofocus DX lens. The build quality is super sweet. 77mm filter thread. Front element looks awesome and impressive. The focus ring feels smooth. It's got an aperture ring right on the lens. You can even turn off the clicking motion when adjusting aperture on the lens with the flip of a switch. You can set it on A mode and you can set your aperture in camera as well. That's what I do. So here's one thing I noticed with the 75mm. It is a premium product. Viltrox is offering this lens for $549 US currently, and it's available. It just came out, and I highly recommend this lens. I used it for a couple of gigs with clients, and wow, I was blown away. I was blown away. Before I show you some sample images, guys, let me go over some detail specs. Here we go. All right, guys, so 75mm, 35mm equivalent, you're at about 112.5 millimeters. f1.2 is the maximum aperture. Minimum aperture is f16. It's a Nikon Z mount lens. Also, Viltrox does make this lens for, I think, Sony and Fuji as well. It's an autofocus lens. The lens does not have image stabilization. The minimum focus distance is 34.6 inches. That's about 88 centimeters. Optical design is 16 elements in 11 groups. And here's awesome diaphragm blades. It's got 11 diaphragm blades. Wow, no wonder it's got really cool bokeh, which I'll show you in a minute. The weight is 23.6 ounces, which is about 670 grams. Yeah, guys, like I said, a killer lens. I've reviewed Viltrox in the past. I have a few videos on Viltrox lenses. I have one playing behind me right here that I've done. But yeah, the 75mm is a keeper. And I'm going to use this for my gigs for sure, because it's such an awesome, it's the bee's knees when it comes to Viltrox. Did I mention the build quality is awesome as well? Let me show you real quickly what the lens hood looks like attached on the lens. It comes with a plastic lens hood. It does the job. Now it comes with rear and front caps. They look like Nikon Z caps. Same design, it just says Viltrox on it. Without further ado, let me roll the images that I took at a real world wedding, a beautiful bride. And I'll meet you right back here after that's done. Let's go. All right, first up, guys, this was before the wedding started, getting ready moments. I want to show you what it looks like when you're shooting this lens on the Z9. 19.4 megapixels, there's the resolution. 75mm Viltrox, there's the lens info. Two things I want you to pay attention to: the background blur and also the sharpness as I crop these images. You can see even at 20 megapixels, these images are very sharp, and I love the background blur. I was blown away with the results I was getting with this Viltrox $549 lens. Here's a portrait of Robert Silver. He was second shooting for me. You guys know Robert Silver photography. Cropped to his eye. As you can see, it's very nice and sharp there. All these images were shot wide open at 1.2 with the Z9. These are all pre-wedding shots. Getting ready moments, makeup. Just look at the sharpness I'm getting in the eye. This is incredible. Look at the foreground, how out of focus it is at 1.2. And using the Nikon Z9, even shooting a DX crop mode, didn't have any problems focusing right on the eye. The focus was nice and snappy and quiet. All in all, I'm in love with this lens actually, and I'll be using it in the future more and more. This is a rock and roll portrait lens. So what did you think of the image quality of the Viltrox 75mm on a Z9? Killer, huh? That's what I thought. I am going to use this lens moving forward with real professional work. That's how good this lens really is. On a Z8 and a Z9 camera, 45 megapixel camera, when shooting DX, you're about 20 megapixels. In my opinion, that's enough for a wedding. I mean, you saw when I zoomed in to those sample images, that's enough effective megapixels to see detail, especially when you shoot on high efficiency star on a Z9, and you're talking about small files. Now, Z50, Z30, ZFC, APS-C, these are native APS-C cameras. They're around 20, it's a 20 megapixel camera as well. So you're getting almost similar results. And by the way, if you don't believe me, I actually made a video comparing the Z9 on DX versus a Z50, and the images looked very similar. So I'll put the link above for that video. Interesting video. Check it out if you have not seen the Z9 versus Z50 on DX crop when you're shooting Z9 on a DX crop. So check that video out. So yeah, guys, Z8 Z9, you're going to get 20 megapixels raw because you're shooting DX, and for video you're at about 112 millimeters. It's a really good option if you filmmakers, if you're roaming around shooting video clips, and you can really use this thing, you know, you're on a monopod, you're doing, you know, B-roll or whatnot. Great option. You know, it's a lot smaller than carrying around a 7200. Yes, the 7200 is going to give you versatility, but if you can, you know, back up and move closer, this thing really does the job. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this Viltrox 75mm 1.2 sample images that I showed you. And if you're going to get one, if you ask me, I highly recommend this. If you have a Z mount, even if you have a Z8 and Z9, those are full frame cameras, I recommend the 75mm all the way every day. So Viltrox, you really hit a home run. All right, guys, let me conclude this review with a special video I put together of the same wedding at the wedding reception, shooting Z9 120 frames per second video, handheld with this 75mm lens. I'm using IBIS right on the Z9. Enjoy the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Roll it, baby. Rock and roll.